Listener discretion is advised.
It's time for another Steel Revolution podcast. Please keep in mind that the opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the individuals, and they do not reflect any official view of the United Steelworkers, USW Local 105, or its officers or sub-board members for officers. Now, from the banks of the mighty Mississippi River, this is Steel Revolution.
Good to go, Shawn?
I am.
We're recording right now?
Yes, we are.
Hello, podcast listeners. Welcome to Steel Revolution 111.
111.
Uno.
Yeah.
Yep. It's like Gomez is here.
Yeah.
You say, what up, Way?
Nope.
Nope, you're not going to go there?
Nope.
No? Okay. All right, I'm Roy Hutt.
Shawn Geisens.
Pat Stock.
We got a new guy.
Yeah.
Mike is getting a new glass slipper, so he'll be back when that fits right. And
Lee has a visit with the Tooth Fairy.
yep, Lee has a visit with the Tooth Fairy, so people are busy.
You guys are pretty funny.
Thanks, Shawn.
Yeah.
You are sometimes.
All the time.
All right, we'll dive right into some local news. On the 23rd of August, we had around 16 new hires around there, Pat.
Yeah.
They end up adding a few late as they get the background checks in. So around 16, and all of them signed sign-up cards, Pat?
Yes.
Okay. So welcome those guys as they get out into the plant and look out for our newest brothers and sisters. The Labor Day parade is back. So this coming Monday, if you want, you can participate in the Labor Day parade. We will be in spot 9 unless that changes. But last we heard, we are number 9 in line. The gates will open at 8 o'clock for lineups. Please plan on being there between 9:30 and 10 a.m. Because we will start rolling out, or the parade's supposed to start at 11.
Right. We will have T-shirts for people that participate and walk with us. Again, we'll be throwing out candy, T-shirts to the crowd. Usually a fun time.
Yeah, like Pat said, free T-shirts for those that show up, and like I said, we will be handing out some. If you do show up and hand out candy, hand it out sparingly. We end up getting to the end and we don't have any left. This was new. I didn't hear about this, but read it in the Forerunner. So getting my news from the Forerunner because I was on vacation. There was a letter from Alight that went out. Said it's a normal process or form letter to retirees and employees, asking them to update their address and their phone number. If you don't need to do anything if you have the same address and phone number. Again, I want to point out it's important to have your updated information, to the company. We just went through that dependent audit. It could cause you some problems if you don't have your address updated or your phone number, and down at the hall too, because if you have an issue and something doesn't look right, payroll or HR reaches out, calls down to the hall and reaches out to us, reaches out to your bargaining rep and says, hey, this doesn't look right. We'll give you an opportunity to help this person fix it before we get involved. So again, it's very, very important. Please keep your address and your phone number updated at the hall. This week on Tuesday and Wednesday, we held around 60 grievances at third level grievances. Got about 5 or 6 settled there. Yep. Helping people out with some attendance issues, some pay issues, and helping those guys out. The rest of those grievances that were heard, the company, the representative from Pittsburgh that was in town to hear those, has 45 days to answer. So around 45 days, we should be getting answers to those that had third level grievances.
Yep. We will be asking here this next week for arbitration dates so we can get some of those off the docket.
Payroll issues. We did mention last time that there was a new payroll issue that was fixed. So they realized what they did with the some people's vacation rates went back to a lower rate and sometimes under their hourly rate. That was fixed. So if you took vacation during the lower period, you should have had that retroed to you, I believe, last week or this week. It should have been retroed on your check. So if you have any questions with that, feel free to call the hall or get a hold of your steward or your committeeman. Another reminder, if you're viewing your checks at work, make sure you exit out of all the screens and you delete the download, because otherwise if you download it, anybody following you on that computer or kiosk will be able to see it. Reminder, office manager hours are 6:30 to 2:30 Monday through Friday. He is, again, Dan down here at the hall is your resource for your retirement questions and issues. Wanted to talk about Veterans of Steel and how that tied into the international convention, Pat.
Yeah, sure. So, again, as I wrote an article for the Forerunner last week, explained a little bit what happened at the international convention and how it directs what the international is going to do for the next 3 years. One of the things that came up was a resolution that was not going to be passed, that wasn't recommended to be passed by the international, and that was the Veterans of Steel group. It
was to make it mandatory.
Yeah, to make it mandatory. Yep, you're correct. So with that, I mean, there was a lot of people that stood up and spoke in favor of the resolution that we need to make it a mandatory committee, and that is exactly what happened. It's the members' voices that change that direction or make that direction for the international to follow. So it was kind of nice to see that, and a lot of people spoke out for that resolution and how they wanted it and how it's very important. So expect some new things. It is a mandatory committee now here at our local as well as every other local in the United States. And we're going to be putting out a lot of information. We're going to be talking about laws that help veterans, and, we're going to need support for the membership. Also with that, if you would like to be a part of that, you don't have to be a veteran. Please call down here, leave your phone number, your email address, because there will be information at a later date where we'll be sending out, and we're asking for the help.
Yeah, I'd like to mention that. So this was the second convention in a row where, you had seen something from the floor that impacted what the international did or is going to do going forward. So this one was the Veterans of Steel. People felt strongly that it needed to be a mandatory committee. Luckily we've got a lot of that going on right now. We've got a lot of vets. We've got a lot of support for that. So that wasn't really a big deal for us. But you saw a change. You saw that it was the membership's delegates that did that. The time before, Brad stood up at the very end of the convention and said, "Hey, the membership needs to have a voice in picking the president or picking the people that the international endorses for these political races." And then you saw a survey that came out after that saying, "Hey, here, what's the most important to you? We can run these by the people we're thinking about endorsing and figure out whether or not they're going to be the person that our members want to be endorsed." So you truly see the impact of people standing up and talking at that convention.
Yes.
Let's see, going on to the next topic. Pat, you want to talk about mixed scrap?
Yeah, so again, everyone should know we've been having an issue with mixed scrap being off analysis. There was quite a bit of improvement for the month of August. Went from 5, 8, 9% off analysis to 2.3% in the month of August. So we're trending, the downward trend is good. I mean, we need to get a little bit better. So please watch your mixed scrap. What this is causing is we're not able to provide the ingot for the orders that we have. And right now we have more orders than good ingot. So it's still a concern. Like I said, we're trending, the trend's better we need to get that down to where we need to get it, and we can keep these orders flowing.
Yeah, so like all the sectors are good. They're strong. It's just whether or not there's the ingot there to produce. So everything's good in that sense. Reminder: we still have a discount at local hotel. Again, it's the Sinista Select Hotel, 895 Golden Valley Drive in Bettendorf. They have a discounted rate on rooms for the rest of this year. Use promo code 2USWLOA to get that discount. And if you forget, it was in the Forerunner, and you can always get it by calling the hall. We'll let you know what that is. Women of Steel had an update. Find it here. So they had some extra funds, and they used those funds to purchase food, feminine products, toiletries, and get those to the shelters and the nonprofits that need them. They sent out a request to see if anybody would respond on what they needed, and the following places: Winnie's Place, Victory Center, Kenna's House of Love, and the QC Mission all responded. So thank you to the Women of Steel for helping those charities out with the donations. So we had an article in the latest Forerunner on kind of like a best practice on if you have symptoms or if you experience COVID. So I kind of wanted to go over that and talk about some of those steps and why we have them in there, and why it's important. Number one, it's important to call medical. Get your name on a spreadsheet. That's going to cover your absences attendance wise. Provide a copy of your vaccination status. It's also important underneath the current COVID policy. Again, medical's number, if it's Monday through Friday, call them 563-459-2342 or 563-459-2341. If it's the weekend or medical's not there, call security, 563-459-2201. It's important as soon as you know, or as soon as you have symptoms, or as soon as you know you're positive, you need to call them right away. Don't wait. It's important to get on that list as soon as possible. Next, call Morningstar, put in a call off for a short term, and then make it a 5-day call off, 10-day call off, whatever. But at least get a call off in there. Next, call the Hartford. Now this would be like, well, why do I call the Hartford? I'm not going to qualify. Once you call the Hartford and get a claim number, you don't have to call off anymore. So get a lot of people that are, well, it's a waste of time to do the Hartford. I'm not going to qualify. Well, if you feel that way and you do that, that's fine. But you better call off every day, because if you forget and miss a call off, you're going to get in trouble. So that's why we said the best thing for you to do is to call the Hartford. Again, once you have a claim number, you don't have to call off anymore. And then if something happens and you can't return, you'll start getting pay on your 8th day and after. Another important thing, we had a rumor going around, or some miscommunication, that medical was accepting at-home tests, and that's not the case still. They do not accept at-home tests. Cover that good, Pat?
It sounds good to me.
Okay, thanks. Pat, do you want to talk about the plate mill scrap cutting?
Yes. So some of the people in the plate mill may be seeing a new piece of machinery outside that was previously operated by GCI, cutting the side scrap off the saws. When we have brought that in-house, there's 4 to 5 operators now training on that excavator with the alligator shears to cut the scrap. That's our work. We've always argued that that's our work, and finally we were able to bring it back in-house. You'll still see GCI for a couple weeks hauling scrap on the backside. They're just getting that into the areas that we need it. So that's still going on for a couple weeks. But I'm excited. I seen a video of this thing running the other day. It looks like a decent piece of equipment and looks like a decent job. It's big, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know Amber and Clayton was out there working with GCI, going out there with the guys and viewing the training and the equipment. Thank you for doing that, Amber. The point I want to make is that has been a long time coming. We
Yes.
have always said that cutting scrap should be our job, shouldn't be contracted out to alters. We got at least a piece back.
Yes.
And that was years and years and years of never giving up and always bringing it up to eventually get to where we are today. So, I just want to say, it was, Brad, Pat, Amber, the rest of us down here, it was years and years and years of arguing that needed to be our work, and we finally got a piece of it. So
Unfortunately, sometimes progress is slow, especially working for the company that we work for, but we were able to succeed in this.
the SOAR group will have a chili supper coming up. When we get a date, it'll be in the Forerunner, and we'll get that out. Want to mention that Bonnie Carey, the president of the SOAR chapter, came into my office. They had a speaker talking about Medicare and prescription drugs, and one person that was there or was the speaker talking about said that this person paid a lot for their insulin, and all they had to do was mention, hey, run it through the Good RX program, and it cut the cost of that insulin. So I know there's one person that I talked to that I work with. They had complained about the price of insulin even with our prescription. Told her about it, say, hey, maybe you might want to try this, but wanted to pass that on. If even with our insurance you seem to be paying a lot for your prescriptions, you might want to try to pull that and have them run that card.
Right, and what the Good RX does is it makes the pharmacy find the cheapest that they can sell that prescription for. So that's a good thing as well.
All right, Pat, you want to give an update from Sevier Steel?
Sure. Yeah, Sevier Steel, Local 105-2, Jeff Hartford and I have been working on their contract extension. We've been working hard with the company to get something done down there in the membership. The contract extension has been voted down 2 times so far, but through continued talks, we've been able to make it better, and there will be a vote in the next couple weeks for the membership down there at Sevier Steel to see if we can't get that extension passed.
So lastly in news, we did also have the Iowa Federation of Labor convention that was held out at Des Moines. Your delegates went out there and heard a lot from labor endorsed candidates, whether it's with the state one way or the other, state, House and Senate, along with the federal House and Senate. So heard a lot from those guys that were the labor endorsed. Want to mention that there's an unemployment law that changed, and all the people that got labor endorsed all voted against that law change, which took it from 26 weeks to 16 weeks. That's 10 weeks. If I'm thinking about it, I've been laid off. Shawn, you would have been too, right?
Yeah.
Pat, did you ever get one?
No.
You missed it?
Yeah, I missed it.
So Pat missed it, but there's, and Shawn, how many years did we have in when we got laid off?
The first one, I was talking about the voluntary, but the first one, 4.5 years, 5 years.
So, think about anybody with 5 years or less seniority. If something happens and you get laid off, you might not make it back in 16 weeks. You need that extra money to support your family. And I will guarantee nobody that voted for that campaigned on that.
Right.
So when we're talking about endorsing people and the signs out at the hall, it's all people that are, went through a survey, talked to union members that are on WIN committees, and they've passed that they're going to stand up for workers, and that's who we pick. It's not a party thing. To prove that, when we were out at the convention, they had a vote. The body voted to endorse a Republican. I believe it was southeast or northwest Iowa.
Northwest.
That he has voted with labor.
So it's not just about the D's behind the name, the R's behind the name. We support people that support workers' rights.
Right, and if you look at who voted to cut unemployment benefits, you will find that there were 2 Republicans in the House, 2 Republicans in the Senate that voted against it. Appreciate, that's what we look at. We don't look at the R's, we don't look at the D's, we look at the voting records. So just wanted to bring that up because...
Yeah, I mean, another thing in that unemployment law change is now you're mandated, you have to do 4 job searches a week. You have to turn that in. I mean, we've been pretty fortunate here at Arconic, Alcoa, that sometimes we may not have had to do any job searches, but now this is a mandatory piece of that legislation that was passed. It's terrible.
Yeah, think about your family and friends that are in that are in the construction trades or work construction that they normally have a layoff period, and now it's gonna cut their benefits. Mm-hmm. One thing that's not on the list or the agenda, Pat, that we should probably bring up is that forum September 13th,
yes.
Right? Is that what it was? We found that out today?
September 13th, there's going to be a forum at the River Center, and what this forum has to do with is the new the train companies, and I don't recall which train.
Canadian Pacific,
yeah.
And it's not Santa Fe, but it's something else.
Right.
Not another train company, but it's Canadian Pacific for sure. And,
yeah.
And we're gonna have to get some more info.
So what they're doing, they want to merge companies. Okay, this could mean a lot for us. You might see in some of the newspapers, some of these cities have taken some money to allow these trains to pass through. I know Comanche, I hear this all the time. They've denied it. You got a small town. And the problem is with these trains, now these trains could go from 1 mile long to 2 miles long, and also increase the amount of times that the trains can go by. So now it might be 15 times. Well, they're increasing that to 30 times. What this means for us, our membership, is we've got a train policy. All right? So the train policy states if you're there 6 minutes ahead, you'll be covered. But we're still not paid. So if we're out there waiting for these trains to get into work, that's more hours that could be more hours that we may not get paid until we get into the plant. Also, you have the issue of somebody gets hurt at work. How are you going to get an ambulance through if these trains are 2 miles long, and are lasting double the time? I mean, we need, talked about it. You might have to life flight some people, a helicopter in to get somebody off the plant site. This is going to be an issue. So we're going to keep an eye on this and take a look at it. I may be down there on the 13th to speak about this and how it's going to affect our membership.
Yeah, we'll put more information, whether it's on Facebook or in the Forerunner. But if you guys are passionate about it, feel free to go down to that forum and at least show your support by being there. Mm-hmm. Pat mentioned some negatives. There's also the safety concern of the traffic piling up on 67 out there.
Right.
There's also, there's the bad news, you can't get into the plant to start making money and start your shift. There's also the flip side of it, you can't get home.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't go pick your kid up from daycare or go to your doctor's appointment on time that you made roughly after work. So this could be a big impact to our you guys, our members, to do that. And then also there is getting it all out there. There's a side of the business that if you have that many trains going by, you can't get trucks in and out of the plant. So you're going to have trucks piled up
Right.
that you're going to have to load, unload, and it's just going to be a mess.
Yep, we're still trying to learn more, and we will let the membership know what we find out.
Yeah, like Pat said, it's early. We just found out about it today. We got to do some more research, but like we said, we do know that meeting or that forum is on September 13th at the River Center in Davenport. Shawn, you busy?
No, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, good.
Good. Just,
Tell people where to find us.
oh, we're to that part.
They can find us on our Facebook page at Steel Revolution Podcast, USW, Logo 105. The iPhone, iPad app, which is Apple Podcasts, Podcast Addict for Android devices, the Android app, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio app, Spotify app. We're on YouTube, Odyssey app, Libsyn.com, the Locals websites, and then the men's restroom here at Local 105 in Bettendorf, Iowa.
Yep. Still got plenty of pint glasses, Shawn.
No, I used mine a couple days ago. Yep,
Well, don't forget to say something good about your union.
every day.
Till next time, bye.
Steel Revolution is a podcast by USW Local 105, Bettendorf, Iowa.